Distinguished guests, friends, family, students, alumni, members of the Board of Governors, and most importantly, to the members of the class of 2023. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, it is my distinct privilege to welcome you to Indian Springs' 69th commencement exercises. Seniors, congratulations, by the way. Today, we celebrate the culmination of a transformational journey made possible by all those in attendance. Looking back on the last few years, I can honestly say that the social, emotional, and academic growth of this year's graduates is profound. Everyone here, and so many others, played a critical role in this growth. On behalf of the class of 2023, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making today possible for our graduates. Thank you for supporting them, for lifting them up, for believing in them, and for partnering with the school to help them realize their promise and potential. Perhaps the social, emotional, and academic growth is only surpassed by their physical growth. Some pictures are circulating on social media from their 8th and 9th grade years. Their infectious smiles and the enthusiastic yet mischievous glares in their eyes in those photos are the only foolproof way to identify them now. Those two characteristics remain to this day, and I hope will remain the same in 2073 at their 50th year reunion. The class of 2023 has had its fair share of challenges throughout their high school years, trials and tribulations, bumps, twists and turns, friend drama, frenemy drama. They've ridden the emotional roller coaster that is adolescence. They have been stretched beyond what they thought was possible, given a supportive shoulder when they needed it, and on occasion, a swift kick in the pants when that was warranted. Their Indian Springs experience has not been easy, but it has been incredibly worthwhile. They are better people for having taken this journey. Congratulations, by the way, you've made it. Class of 2023, there are everyday moments that profoundly impact your thinking in life. Believe it or not, there have been moments this year and over the past few that, in retrospect, decades later, you'll think back on and make a connection you weren't capable of making at age 17 or 18, let alone as a 14 or 15-year-old. Interestingly enough, research studies have shown that you need to hear or see a message 7 times before it really sinks in. This is one of the fallibilities of the human condition. I will leave you with 5 thoughts that you might find useful in the years ahead as your life journey unfolds. None of these are new to you, but perhaps we are nearing that magic number of hearing them 7 times for them to properly sink in. 1, heed the school's motto, learning through living. Your teachers, coaches, mentors have tried to reinforce this throughout your time here. American philosopher Mortimer Adler wrote, "The purpose of learning is growth, and our minds, unlike our bodies, can continue growing as we continue to live." And Helen Keller once said, "A well-educated mind will always have more questions than answers." We have no idea what jobs you will have in your lifetime, but I do know that many will be jobs that aren't even in existence today. The technical skills that these jobs will require are unknown, but rest assured that critical thinking, compassion, adaptability, perseverance, and being a learner will be fundamental to your success. Even this graduation speech that would have taken me hours in the past to craft took longer to print this morning than it did for ChatGPT to write it. I jest, of course. Clearly, the quote calendar in my office inspired my remarks. Congratulations, by the way. 2, trust and love fully. You will reach higher and further than you ever knew possible with the support of family, friends, and mentors. Trust is a beautiful yet fragile thing. Trust is what relationships are built on, and relationships are what bring meaning to our lives. Your parents are beaming with pride today. Your aunts and uncles, grandparents, and friends are proud. Even your little siblings are proud of you. I would say that do not confuse their smiles on their faces for being that proud of you. That's the result of them thinking about what they plan to do with your room when you leave for college. There is in your life a place for social media, TikTok, Snapchat, but I remain convinced that it should not be as prevalent as it is to most of you. You'll figure that out with time. What I want you to know is that there is no replacement for human connections, a passing smile, a kind gesture, a deep philosophical conversation, or a pat on the back for a job well done. You will learn this with time, with each passing year, but it accelerates with love. Look at your parents. I promise the day you were born changed them to their core. On that day, they were no longer all consumed in selfish pursuits, but instead moved along the continuum to selflessness. Few, if any, accomplishments in life are individual successes. They are indeed shared. On several occasions throughout the school year, the choir sang the song, One Voice. I recommend you listen to it carefully and learn the lyrics. The opening solo was inspiring, the sound of one who makes a choice. The duet gave me goosebumps, helping each other make it through. The trio singing together in harmony sent shivers down my spine. The entire choir coming together took my breath away. Singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. It is fitting that the entire student body is here to celebrate you. We are one choir singing together in harmony. We are so very proud of you. Congratulations, by the way. 3, life is hard, but let's not forget that most things in life worth doing are hard. And I want to leave you with something in return to when all those hard moments feel overwhelming. Members of the class of 2023 have asked me throughout the spring what book I plan to give them at graduation. And true to form, I do indeed have a book for you. As you receive your diplomas, you will receive that book. My wish is that you turn to the pages of that book when life gets hard. The messages within may very well help, particularly the bookplate on the inside front cover. Each of your books is inscribed with a message from one of your teachers who has cared deeply for you along your spring's journey. New this year, I received numerous suggestions from the senior class about what book I should give them. They were all relevant, more or less, for this moment. One suggestion was the literary classic, Oh, the Places You'll Go. Dr. Seuss eloquently states, you'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang. You'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. Life is hard. But no, my book selection wasn't Oh, the Places You'll Go. For the senior that suggested that, I did work it into my speech though, so you're welcome. Understand that you will come up short or stumble on occasion, but have the resilience to get up. Wipe the dirt and blood off your knees and try again. There will also be times when you feel lonely, incredibly lonely. Know that, however, you are never alone. Everyone here is behind you. You know where to find us. We're only one call, email, or snap away. 4, be kind. This is the theme of George Saunders' book entitled Congratulations, by the way. Some thoughts on kindness. I hope you'll enjoy your copy. return to it regularly. The world needs more kindness. Kindness, or the lack thereof, is another fallibility of the human condition. Give the benefit of the doubt. Understand that we are more alike than different. George Saunders writes, "So here's something I know to be true, although it's a little corny and I don't know what to do with it. What I regret most in my life are failures of kindness. Those moments when another human being was there in front of me, suffering, and I responded sensibly, reservedly, mildly." Or, to look at it from the other end of the telescope, who in your life do you remember most fondly, with the most undeniable feeling of warmth? Those who were kindest to you, I bet. Be the reason someone belongs. Be the reason someone smiles. It will be your greatest gift, and nothing will be more satisfying in return. 5, character matters most in life. Do the right thing even when no one is watching. I've joked with you that you will never know when and where I will show up. Over the past few days and weeks, some of you learned that the hard way. Live life intentionally and with purpose. If part of that purpose and intentionality is doing the right thing, you will never need to worry about who is watching. Speaking of living a life of purpose, perhaps you recall what Pape Fall class of 1993 shared with one of you when you asked the question about which building project he was part of did he like the most. He said that he was drawn to the Birmingham Children's Hospital, not necessarily because of the architecture or the colorful lighting, but rather because of the purpose the building serves. Not every building project in life will be the most meaningful, but everything you engage in should be done with intentionality and that sense of purpose. Don't go through the motions. You are better than that. George Saunders concludes, "And someday, in 80 years when you're 100 and I'm 134, and we're both so kind and loving that we're nearly unbearable, drop me a line. Let me know how your life has been. I hope you'll say, it was wonderful." A quote, a song, a conversation, a book, a guest speaker. You never know when and how a mundane moment may leave a lasting impression on you. Over the last few months, I've had the chance to have lunch with all but one of you. I've learned a lot from those lunches. I'll remind you of one question I asked when we met. What regrets do you have from your time at Springs? Your response is, I wish I had tried harder. I wish I had understood that grades mattered in the 9th grade. I wish I had tried something new, a new instrument, language, sport, or joined a new club. I wish I had made new friends earlier and pushed outside my comfort zone. I wish I hadn't stuck with toxic relationships too long. Don't let those same regrets be those regrets that you have in this next life chapter. Remember, you will never know when and where, but I promise I will show up, and I will ask you the same question. I'm looking forward to hearing a different answer. Prove to me and yourself that you continue to learn through living. The class of 2023 has made a profound impact on me personally and on the life of the school. I know you will leave your mark in this world and will continue to make everyone here today so very proud. The uncommon experience of your Springs journey will forever bind together the Indian Springs class of 2023. As you prepare to leave the relative comforts of the Springs campus, know that you are prepared to do so, that you are worthy of the challenges ahead, that you are more than good enough, and that you are deeply loved. Congratulations, by the way. I'd now like to invite our fall mayor, Lucy Craig, to the stage.
Good stuff, guys. Y'all should all come up here. Can y'all hear me all right? I'll take that as, all right, perfect. Okay. Upon our arrival in 9th grade, it didn't take long for our class to spark conversation here at Indian Springs. I wouldn't say we bonded immediately, but we did all have things to say to each other. But we've come so far. Maybe it's my own bias, but let's look at our statistics real quick. We have 9 national merits finalists, 7 through 10 committed athletes, which is Springs history, a nationally ranked speech debater, 2 nationally ranked fencers. Elise won 7 state championships running. Mark won 5 state championships swimming. And Teddy was on ESPN for e-karting. Oh, and by the way, Mayu won the National Junior Science and Humanities Symposium from a hospital bed. That's simply incredible. Yeah. And to think that all this history was made over the course of the pandemic. But all the same, we found ways to excel and create a sense of togetherness. And I think we did this through our value of humor. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I think the way that we've rallied for each other, continued working hard through COVID, I think the way that we've sprinted to get tickets to go to the basketball games because there were a limited number of tickets, I think the way that we sang in choir with a mask on and lifted each other up through COVID was the most Springs this place has ever been. Even on Zoom, we cultivated this feeling. While the Zoom era wasn't fun per se, I'd say it was kind of funny. We got to know each other in a way that we wouldn't have been able to without Zoom. I dyed my hair blue in Mr. Barrett's class. I have distinct memory of Chloe wearing a hot dog costume for too many classes. Narain refused to take his hat off in class because he had actually shaved his head. But weirdest of all, we all saw each other's rooms and each other's pets. I consider you really close to me if you've seen Harry. While I wouldn't like to say that our time on Zoom was the most difficult period for our class, I actually think it may have been when we got back, the year that many of us could not come back. This may not be true for international students, however, so I'd like to take a second to really appreciate y'all. I remember having too many parties on Zoom because I got distracted sleeping or watching TV or something along that line, but there were students who were ready for class that I had at 1 p.m. and they had at 2 a.m. that they were early for. I don't know how y'all did that. This is all to say that our class handled change and uncertainty with grace. Let me take you back to March 16th, 2021. We were in 10th grade and teachers literally came between us with yardsticks to make sure we didn't get too close to each other. We didn't have the Kaiser Sanford Community Commons or the dining hall, and we had to wear masks pretty much constantly with the exception that we could pull it down for bites to eat. So as the destruction of the old dining hall began and there was no end in sight for the pandemic, the ingenuity of both the teachers and the students thrived. What I mean by this is we all had to come up with solutions ASAP to make this experience of the pandemic and no dining hall worth the tuition. The school bought some fun tents that covered us. The school bought some fun tents while we ate. We got a food truck outside, and it really did feel like summer camp for the majority of the year. But it wasn't sunny March and April of 2021. So it's March 16th, and Elise Picard and I were on our way to lunch. It's an overcast day until, per our luck, it started raining. What we didn't know yet was that you can't hide from the rain here. You have to embrace it. So we skedaddled in the rain, peeling our masks from our face for a breath until we got to our safe harbor that was the tents. Relieved, I ran inside an almost empty lunchroom and got a veggie sandwich. I was a pescatarian at the time, and with COVID and renovations at the school, it wasn't the highest priority to accommodate pescatarians, which I find completely fair. That needed to be mentioned because I may have exaggerated the word veggie sandwich. What I mean by that is 2 pieces of white bread with a raw portobello mushroom in between, seasoned with feta cheese. It was a hard time for everyone. Anyway, a few minutes into lunch, as I innocently ate the raw mushroom sandwich, the tent overhead had collected so much rainwater, maybe a gallon of brownish water poured all over my sandwich and my head. I started tearing up because my hair was wet, I was burnt out from all the classes, I knew I'd be sitting in class soggy all day, and on top of that, my cloth mask was like soaked and sticking to my face. But Elise started laughing and then had the audacity to pull her phone out and take a slow-mo video of me and the sandwich. These people in the community have the power to make such a potentially defeating situation fun. My teachers and friends have been so amazingly supportive of me, and it's such a blessing to feel supported by the people around you, and to be around people who care about you and help you laugh when you don't see the humor in life. Before I go, I'd like to say special thanks to Mr. J, who let me rant so long it was in French. Je t'aime bien. To Coach T for loving us no matter what, to Miss Magnuson for bringing levity on stressful days, to Coach Skiff and Nurse Womack, I couldn't have made it without you. To all the faculty and staff, you'll never know how much your love and support has meant to us. To the parents and guardians of the class of 2023, thank you for sending us to this school. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for letting me have this experience. Thank you to all my friends' families for allowing them to go here. I truly am a better person for having known y'all. To the class of 2023, thank you for supporting the school in its mission to cultivate outstanding students and to cultivate well-rounded people. I wish you all luck and success, and thank you for letting me know you, and I have no doubt that with your intelligence, passion, your wit, your charm, you'll continue to be amazing people. I love you all.
I'd like to invite our choir seniors over to join the choir.
One more Springs experience, everybody. Scooch up.
Friendship endures.
As they make their way back to their peers over here in the stands, I would invite Richard Monk to make his way up to the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Monk, and I'm honored to be giving a speech today. As some of my fellow classmates may remember, during one unsuspecting town hall meeting a few weeks into 8th grade, we, as a class, were called out by the mayor at the time. We were questioned about our lack of connectedness with each other, and were challenged to pursue more meaningful relationships. At the time, we as Infant Springs students were puzzled and frustrated by this confrontation, but carried on our journey nonetheless. Since that day, we have continued to grow as a class, in numbers and maturity. We've gone from showing up to Dr. Cooper's class, soaking wet from playing tag by the creek, to being the seniors questioning the 8th graders' curious actions. We've gone from being clueless on how to write a 4-page paper for Miss Jacobs' class, to cranking out 6-page papers the night before they are due. We've gone through springs with the pandemic hitting us right in the middle of high school, and we've had 4 different heads of school. All of this to say, we've been through a lot in our time here at Springs, but that is how it's supposed to be. While many backgrounds, paths, and motives brought us together into coming to Springs, I would bet every one of us had some sort of nervousness in the days leading up to our first day. Personally, stereotypes surrounding the title of Springs being the best private school in the state was what intimidated me. I expected to enter a culture of competitiveness, with classmates vying with each other to earn the best grades and go to the best college. And in some sense, my expectations were correct. As a class, we are pretty competitive. But before coming to Springs, I associated competitiveness with selfish tendencies. But now I realize our competitiveness is the fulcrum of our connectivity. Our first class-wide event was the Ocoee trip, taking place during one of the first weeks that we were a full class of around 70 students. As we headed north, packed in buses, there was a sense of awkward excitement surrounding everybody. For introverts and extroverts alike, spending a night with people you've known for a week is a daunting task. But we thrived that night and were able to take down the rapids the next day, creating one of, if not the best, memories that we have had as a class. While the Ocoee trip connected us for the first time, I mostly accredit the small moments towards creating memories with each other. For me, I find a lot of these moments within the soccer games. Our grade has around 15 players between the guys and girls team, with a collective 3 state championships during our time here. Coming out on a Friday night with 15 to 30 of my classmates, cheering on our friends, is one of those moments that connects us all. But these games are only one small part of our experience here at Springs. I believe everyone has been able to find their place here where connections have been made. I know for some of my classmates, these moments can be found spending hours after school every day to practice for the play, taking long walks in the woods, or simply just hanging out in the Malone room during lunch. While the freedom that the school gives us was puzzling at first, I think that the beauty of Springs is that we were able to define what our experience was for ourselves. This freedom will not be possible without our amazing faculty and staff. I know that I and many of my classmates have been able to bond with a lot of our teachers. And these connections have driven us to better ourselves in and out of the classroom. So thank y'all. One would think that the independence associated with our education would build competitiveness even more. But I have observed just the opposite happen. Our competitiveness as a class drives us to better ourselves, but also to better each other. These connections that we have been able to build have caused us to care about each other. They enabled us to create a positive learning environment where we not only strive to better ourselves academically, but also to better ourselves as people. Our competitiveness and connectivity combined have allowed us to create a class full of kindness, care, and empathy, pushing us to want to be the best versions of ourselves. So now we stand here today, creating our last class-wide memory after 5 years. While we may not have any more lunch-long discussions with each other left, or D-Day spent in good spirits, we knew that this day was ultimately the goal of coming here. But I think we have learned that the diploma is just a small part of what we will take from our time here at Springs. The connections, lessons, and self-discoveries that we have made along our respective journeys are what will define us in the next stages of our lives. After today, we will probably all feel the uncertainty that we felt before coming to Springs for the first time. worrying about the next chapter of our lives with college, hours away from family, home, and friends. But if anything, this diploma should prove to us that we are capable. We came here as small teenagers, faced tremendous amounts of adversity, and flourished through it all. We took the challenge from 8th grade and now thrive through our connections. We've used our competitive and kind spirit to find our place within our community. So next time we are worried about the journey ahead, remember that today is the day that should prove to ourselves that we are ready for whatever lies ahead. And remember the relationships here that have driven us to be the best versions of ourselves. Thank y'all. Go Springs.
Lillian Jacobs, will you please join us on stage?
Can y'all hear me? I'm kind of short, so it's kind of like hard to lean over the mic. Okay. Hello, students, faculty, friends, family, and seniors. I first want to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to celebrate such a beautiful day with us. My name is Lillian Jacobs, and I am beyond honored to speak on the behalf of the senior class this morning. For those who do not know, I grew up in a little brick house with my family right behind the gym in faculty housing. I remember my childhood here fondly and feeling like this place was my sanctuary. I caught my first fish in the lake behind me. I would run around in this patch of grass and play imaginative games with my brother Henry while my mom, Miss Jacobs, watched from her office. And I even befriended the timeout corner in the dining hall. But one of the things I remember best is what felt like sneaking into past graduations and counting down the years until it was my turn. 10 more graduations, 9 more graduations, all the way to now. It's exciting, refreshing, and bittersweet. I struggle to find the words to accurately recount the last 4 to 5 years of our time here as students. There is so much to say, yet I'm at a loss for words. But while writing this speech, I was reminded of a song called Graceland 2 by an indie rock band named Boy Genius. 2 phrases seem particularly relevant to me. The first is, "We know we lived through it to get to this moment." I believe that phrase captures our time here perfectly. High school, for us, was filled with uncertainty. We were forced to navigate high school through a pandemic, extreme political unrest, an evolving administration, and no dining hall. We met these conflicts with the internal turbulence of being a teenager, some of the most pivotal developmental moments in our lives. However, we sit here today because we lived through it. Every tear shed, jump for joy, question asked, test aced, test failed, game played, art production put on, and everything in between led to this moment. We actually had a pretty good time, but really, life beyond high school will bring even more uncertainty. We have no idea what our lives will look like in a year, 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even tomorrow. But in the immortal words of Taylor Swift, we are on our own now, but we are ready for it. In that same Boy Genius song, Phoebe Bridgers sings a second lyric, "I would do anything you want me to." I would do anything for these people on this stage today, and I hope that feeling is shared. But the cool thing about that phrase is that it's not just about what our class would do for each other, it's about everyone here today. We are surrounded by teachers who will do and have done anything for us. We are surrounded by parents, role models, and mentors who would do and have done anything for us. And we are surrounded by our friends, whether on or off this stage, who would do and have done anything for us. If Dr. Wright stopping a bus in rural Texas heading home from choir tour to accommodate my fussy bladder and dry my tears in a McDonald's parking lot does not prove what we would do for each other, I don't know what does. But never doubt that dedication. So thank you, Dr. Wright, truly. If I had to describe this class in one word, I would choose passionate. Sitting before you is a class of brilliant young adults with a wide range of passion. Among us is a record number of collegiate athletes. We are musicians, artists, and writers. We are scientists. We are future activists, lawyers, doctors, educators, and parents. You name it, we got it. Our paths will lead us in many different directions, but the difference in our passions make us one. There's something special about that. It's one of a kind, and it's us. In these final weeks of school, I have found myself having conversations with teachers and friends about my time here. One of these conversations was with Mr. Ellenis, who taught me that our passions can become our careers. He said that Springs is the place where you learn how to be you. And I think he's right. We all make mistakes, say the wrong things, and embarrass ourselves. It is easy to focus on these stumbles, but for every misstep, we also try something new, fall in love, and move forward. So, in reality, we experience some growing pains, but we also encourage and celebrate the growth from each other, including growing in our beliefs about the world and in ourselves. I like how that's normal here. I have learned that you must make a sacrifice, great or small, risky or safe, to receive something in return. These years were a significant risk with a high reward. So seniors, we lived through it, but we are here by the passion in ourselves and by the faith from the ones around us. We did it. We survived, and in fact, we thrived. So relish in it, because we deserve it. I want to close out with a story that sums up what I think is the true embodiment of Indian Springs. Last spring, the soccer state championship for the boys and the girls team and the contemporary music ensemble concert happened to land on the same night. Everybody was crushed. Nobody wanted to have to choose between the sports teams or the show. How could we make people choose between their passions? The faculty heard our concerns, and after much planning and discussion, we solved the problem so no one had to miss the games or the show. Logistically, it made the most sense for these events to happen simultaneously. And sure, both teams won the state final, and the contempt concert was great. But there's more to it. We lived through a conflict. Our teachers did anything for us so we could live out our passions, and we were there to celebrate our passions together and support one another. The only other time I remember seeing this was in the first High School Musical movie when the basketball game, academic decathlon, and the theater callbacks were all in the same afternoon. The film ends with a solution met and it all working out. I never thought that could happen in real life. It felt like something that could only happen in the movies. But it happened here. How awesome is that? Thank you.
The Leadership Award is given in memory of Charles Jordan McDavid, Jr., class of 1958. The recipient is selected by the faculty on the basis of exemplary leadership and character exhibited through participation in student activities. It is my honor to present this year's Leadership Award to Kason Swade. I invite Hunter Wolf, Dean of Students, to present the Spiritual Awareness Awards.
The Spiritual Awareness Awards are given in memory of Alan Lavoie Furness, class of 1963, and Robert Barry Cardis, class of 1968. The recipients are recognized by their peers in the senior class as embodying the qualities of dignity, humanitarianism, and spiritual awareness. This year's first recipient of the Spiritual Awareness Award is Lucy Craig. The second recipient of the Spiritual Awareness Award is Rosa Sable. Wesley Wald, our Dean of Faculty, will now present the Libby Pantazis Award.
The Libby Pantazis Award recipient is selected by the faculty on the basis of exemplary dedication, joy, and passion in service to the school. It is my distinct pleasure to present the Libby Pantazis Award to Carson Huff.
Elizabeth Goodrich, Chair of the Indian Spring Board of Governors, will present the McDonald B. Fleming Distinguished Service Awards.
The McDonald B. Fleming Service Award is given in memory of Mac Fleming. From the school's founding and for a remarkable 70 years, Mac Fleming was a stalwart of the faculty. Throughout his tenure, Mac exemplified the school's mission and values. Selected by the Board of Governors, this year the McDonald B. Fleming Distinguished Service Award will be presented to 3 members of the Indian Springs community. I would first ask Catherine Darcy to please join me on stage. While she is making her way, I will tell you that for 16 years, Catherine Darcy has served the Indian Springs community dutifully and with great joy as a member of the development and advancement teams. Catherine's commitment to the school extends beyond her role as database manager and advancement associate with her involvement in the Springs Theater, where she routinely managed the box office. Catherine has been a conduit to Springs alumni with her uncanny ability to recall specific details about so many in this community. The Board of Governors is grateful to Catherine for giving her time and talent to Indian Springs School while serving with distinction. Please join me in recognizing Catherine Darcy as we wish her well for her retirement. Sorry, this is the last call. Thank you. Jan Fortson, you're next. Jan Fortson has been an important part of the Springs community since she was first hired in 1996. Over her 27 years of service to the school, Jan has filled many roles and responsibilities at the school, including dorm supervisor, dean of students, and most recently with her work in the college counseling office. Whether she was organizing emergency drills, planning lake days, chaperoning dances, monitoring study hall, or coordinating academic accommodations, Jan always put students first. The Board of Governors thanks and commends Jan for 27 years of distinguished service to the school and for tirelessly giving of her time and talents to the students who have thrived as a result of her efforts. Please join me in recognizing Jan Fortson as we wish her the best in her retirement. And our third recipient of the McDonald B. Fleming Distinguished Service Award is Jimmy Lewis, class of 1975. Unfortunately, Jimmy is not here with us today in person, but we will bestow this honor in his absence. Jimmy Lewis has been an important part of the Indian Springs community since his days as a student, as an alumnus, and since he and his wife Melinda sent their children, Stuart Lewis, class of 11, and Evelyn Jennings Miller, also class of 11, to the school. Jimmy's involvement in Indian Springs includes serving on the Alumni Council beginning in 2005 and later on the Board of Governors starting in 2009. In his first stint with the Board of Governors, Jimmy chaired the Building and Grounds Subcommittee and was instrumental in the development of the campus master plan and the completion of the new academic buildings. Jimmy agreed to return for a second stint on the board with a continued focus on advancing the campus master plan. Under his leadership, the Kaiser Sanford Community Commons was opened in December 2022. The Board of Governors is so grateful to Jimmy for his time, talent, and resources. He has served with distinction. Please join me in thanking Jimmy Lewis for his distinguished service to Indian Springs and to the generations of students to come who will be touched by his efforts.
I will now ask Dr. John Gray, Assistant Head of School for Academic Affairs, and Elizabeth Goodrich, Board Chair, to help confer the diplomas. Please note that the graduates will not be called in alphabetical order. It was the wish of the members of the class of 2023 that diplomas be selected at random. To add to the suspense and joy of the day, the first name, the 23rd name in honor of the class of 2023, and the last name called will receive some additional spring swag.
Noor Shariba. Ben Rothman. Santo Cruz Curry. Chloe Lane Williams. John Parker Amon. Enoch Aaron Zhao. Lucille Harriet Craig. Hero Zheng. Dylan Elaine Lowry. Shinyang Santiago He. Shaheen Kushiar. Mark David Underwood, Jr. Amelie Charlotte Moon Biegos. Nolan Dunsmore. Rebecca Elise Picard. Nora Roller. Shane Cow. Elizabeth Ann Spradlin. Caleb Henry Diester Jacobs. Lillian Diane Jacobs. Veston Augustus Colvin. Cynthia Lee. Number 23, Andrew William Rowe. Ember Lauren Szaflarski. Laurel Virginia Impello. Joshua Daniel Bramblett. Sivan Shrestha. Patrick James McCarty. Anna Morgan Sims. Min Deng Ha. Isabella Lords Garza. Sizda Star Chung. Molly Chin. Sasha Sijia Bai. Taya Isabel Adrian. Yawen Yvonne Sue. James Trawick. Theodosy Oates. Lily Jane Naylor. Carson Huff. Courtney Chin. Charles Scott Wilder. Brian Huh. Emma Kate Rutledge. Jonathan Anton Pascal Schmidt. Ethan James Zhao. Yeonjin Kimley Lee. Anna Kristen Schultz Soto. Zhao Jinyu in absentia. Arlie Jeanette Walker. Tatum Kelly. Carlton David Walwork. Leah Velasco. Ann Mason Barbary Tasker. Kason Swade. Kaylin Faye Oppenheim. Evan Jack. Richard Hunley Monk IV. Darun William Kung. Maria Lynn Walker. Adelia Catherine Crawford. Phoebe Hevia Rominger. Gibson Goodrich. Madeline Grace Williams. Rosa Shanti Gila Sable. Olivia Lee. Yu Kanglin. Vicky Kim. Orezi Mina Nanyanzi Ubogu. Nora Barton. Campbell Olivia Swanner. Will the last four individuals please stand up? Yujiro Dylan Nakano. Narain Jetty. Trip Henderson. Mayu Alicia Nakano.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Indian Springs class of 2023. I'd like to now invite our spring mayor, Kason Swade, to the podium to deliver our closing address.
As I stand here today, I face the Engle Terrace, a fraction of the campus that encapsulates what consists of being an Indian Springs student. Having this infamous landmark in sight resurfaces endless memories, from sitting at the bar table and studying during the quiet of my free period, to sharing meals and laughs with friends at the round table, to shaking the ground from jumping and chanting USA during the World Cup, and to digesting questionable and at times head-tilting remarks during our school-wide open forums. I'm overcome with gratefulness for everyone involved in making the Springs experience so special. I thank the administration that works each day to keep this school excellent in all fields, whether academically, athletically, artistically, you name it. I thank the staff members who pay attention to detail, do the hard work, and keep our campus excellent and pristine. I thank the faculty who dedicate their time to providing us, the students, with an outstanding education, who exhibit an enthusiasm for learning even on the days when we have very little, and who extend a helping hand whenever we need one. I thank all the parents who have made our time at Springs possible and supported us during seasons of stress and challenge. And lastly, I thank you all, the class of 2023, for being you. As one reminisces in their high school career, darkness can easily overshadow some of our most vivid memories. We may think back on times of great stress, pressure, regret, or loneliness, those times where we thought we'd never recover. However, as I look at all of my friends sitting to my left and think upon the memories shared with them, light is the only word that comes to mind. Now, what does that have to do with anything? I believe that each day, each of us has the opportunity to shine our light. Like a warm flame, we can draw others nearer through our acts of kindness and openness, or we can conceal that light, passing each day without positively impacting those around us or strengthening our relationships. I can confidently say that my fellow classmates, my friends, have shined their lights upon me. I came here 2 years late. Friend groups were established. Nobody was seeking out a new member. Yet the first day I hopped out of my mom's car and silently trembled with fear of the unknown, you all had no problem shining your light and bringing me in with your warmth. I've never forgotten this, and it's inspired some self-reflection. Like everyone else here, I have high aspirations. I hope to be someone one day. I hope to get my money up. I hope to live comfortably. I hope to exercise my body and mind and fine-tune my skill in various fields. But all that I becomes revolting, and I've realized that temporally. There have been times when I've prioritized my work and goals to the point that it diluted the quality of my attitude. It led me to ask myself late in the night, why am I doing all this? What end does this life yield? Of course, hard work is an outstanding and necessary attribute. But through all this questioning and reflection, I conclude that nothing on earth is worth pursuing if it blocks one's ability to establish new relationships, build upon the old, and shine our light upon those around us. When we focus on the I as the route to contentment, we begin to chase a carrot on a stick, pursuing milestones that never seem to grant complete fulfillment. Friends, the joy of life is not found in the material objects or worldly accomplishments we accumulate, but rather in the love and selflessness that we extend to those around us. I encourage each of us to go forward with this as our priority. For my greatest memories at Springs, in fact, the only memories that surface as I reflect on my high school years, never contain a test grade, but rather are filled with the camaraderie and laughter I have shared with my dearest friends. Now, with that spiel out of the way, I'd like to really focus back on Springs. To me, one of the greatest advantages of attending this institution is the ease in which you can surround yourself with people who are better than you. Oftentimes, I felt like I was running to catch up as I dipped my toes in various fields mastered by my peers, but all in the best ways. Let me walk you through a few examples. After taking a shoulder the size of my face right to the chest during a one-on-one with Carson, I decided to further strengthen my skill and my body for basketball. While working on a Spanish project through Zoom, I sat back in awe as I witnessed my more resourceful, more adaptive, and quick-thinking partner, Charlie Wilder, work his magic. As my running form began to crumble and my face began to seep with sweat and agony, I couldn't help but feel amused as I listened to the cross-country athletes make small talk during our morning run. And each day, I sit in classrooms with some of the brightest minds that you can find. All of these students have pushed me to grow in ways that I had never imagined, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Now, with all that being said, I really am going to miss this place. I always like to think about how if I had remained an attendee of my previous high school, but could peer through a window that displayed the life I would have had at Springs, I really don't know what I would have done. I mean, who would have thought that we'd attend a school where a math teacher would play Happy Birthday on the trumpet during a town meeting, or where a group of friends could convert the parking lot into a campsite for the purpose of safely cooking a potato over a warm fire. Each canoe ride, each deer crossing as I arrived at school, and each exchange of kindness from my dearest friends and mentors have made it harder to leave high school than I had ever anticipated. But nevertheless, I hope that joy and optimism fill our hearts more than anything in this pivotal moment. This isn't the end. As Juice WRLD once said, as our lives change from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Although we'll spend our next years learning new things, doing new things, meeting new people, and chasing dreams, we'll always have each other. Thank you.
Similar to the feelings your parents have, the Springs faculty and staff are overwhelmed by great joy and a sense of loss as you prepare to head out into the world. We're excited to see all that you accomplish in life, and we will celebrate every major milestone with you from afar. We will, however, miss you dearly. No matter where life's twists and turns take you, remember, you always have a home at Springs. And for the 7th time, so I know that it will stick, congratulations, by the way. I'd ask everyone to please rise for the singing of the Alma Mater. Clearly, the seniors are a little warm out there. They tried to get through that a little bit quicker than the choir. Once again, congratulations to the Indian Springs class of 2023.